So it can be said that all of us, when we're alive, we seem to be on this mission in the pursuit of happiness. And as we're pursuing it, and then we attain all the goals, and then we are a bit stumped, how come that happiness somehow is still elusive? And so I want to bring up the common misconception number one about happiness is that we mistake conformity and absence of conflict for happiness. So we come into this world and we all start off as, babies, as children. And so we cannot initially take care of ourselves yet. And so we need to rely on others to guide us, to feed us, to help us to learn. And then as we are growing, we then come in contact with values that society put onto us. So when you do this, these are good values. When you do this, these are bad values. So do the good stuff, stay away from the bad stuff. And then we find that if we conform, we get approval. And if we do not conform, and then we find that, there is this disapproval. And so it could be family values imposed on us by our own family members. It could be cultural values, imposed on us by society because of the culture that we grew up in. It could be religious values. It could even be about the law and how a country operates, and that's imposed onto us. And so there's all these good values to practice and bad values to stay away from. And so we try our best to conform. Many of us, I'm not saying, of course, some of us are rebels. Many of us conform. And then so we achieve all the things that are expected of us. And then we still find that something is missing. And that's because we mistake this conformity for happiness. True happiness will also take into account, that's what the others expect of you, but what do you truly expect of yourself? So is there an inner voice inside, a very soft but very clear voice saying that you should be doing something, that if you do it, it's totally out of the norm of what would be expected. So one example I remember I was in standard 1. And so this whole thing about school was foreign to me, standard 1, and then going through exams, and then there's a report card. So first term, second term, and in the final term, the report card goes back. And there was one column, there was one row over there. Your ambitions for the future. So I didn't even know what that word is, ambition. So it's in Bahasa Malaysia, cita-cita. So I asked the teacher, what is this cita-cita? And then the teacher said, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? And I recall that, I wanted to be a singer. And I put over there cita-cita, and I put there penyanyi. And so with that report card, I go back home, show it to my dad, show it to my mom. Okay, nice grades, very good, very good, very good. And then he looks at it, cita-cita, penyanyi, and my dad goes, You don't want to be a singer. You want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. So this is where we enter into life. After a while, these things get erased. That calling that's in the heart, that is kind of representing the true you, becomes silent because it's drowned by the voices of the masses of conformity. And then so as you listen to that, and then that voice of conformity drowns your inner callings, and then so this is where you kind of become less of the real you and more of just a piece of you that expects, that just does what other people expect you to do. And then you achieve all those things, and then you wonder why you're not happy.